All right, the reconstruction of KZN's economy topping government's priority list, we understand. It's the promise made by President Cyril Ramaphosa. He was engaging with the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Government has also suspended toll fees on some Durban roads affected by those deadly floods back in April. Let's find out what else the President had to say, and also what does the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry think of what the President said. Nigel Ward, morning to you, Nigel. So of the list of things that you wanted the President to speak about, did the top of your list get addressed? Good morning.
Good morning, and to the viewers, morning as well. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think from both sides, and the President made the remark in the closing comments, it was a productive engagement, and I think we have quite a clear way agreed on the way forward in terms of how we'll tackle this. I think really what we wanted is a recognition that the province is in an economic crisis, largely as a result of COVID-19, the July unrest in 2021, and now the more recent flooding. And it's those three big events that had significant impact on the KZN economy, which is in a crisis. So I think, yeah, we are encouraged.
And it's good to hear that the Chamber of Commerce is encouraged as well. But talk is one thing, as we all know. Talk is quite cheap. Rebuilding the KZN economy is not going to be cheap. What's the markers in the road for you that the President set down? What are you holding him to?
Yeah, I think, obviously it's around the infrastructure, not just renewing the aged infrastructure, but also addressing the infrastructure in terms of what we want to term climate resilient infrastructure, as well as urbanization, town planning challenges that we've got, so that we don't repeat these type of events again. So I think we're very clear in terms of water sanitation, basic utilities, road infrastructure, road network, and the larger town planning issues. What the next challenge is now is to break these down into manageable, if I may, task teams. And we proposed to the formation of what we term an economic council. And the economic council will be broken down into work streams that will then tackle the crisp issues at hand. The key, though, as you rightly say, is how do we get quick momentum and quick wins?
And when we look at getting that quick momentum and quick wins, we can't fix everything in the province at the same time. What's top of the priority list? Where do we begin? What's going to have the biggest impact to get the economy up and running? Is it the harbour? Is it Transnet? Is it railway? Is it sanitation? Where do we start with this?
Yeah, Gareth, I don't think there's one specific thing. We were quite clear yesterday. We weren't in the meeting to address the short-term issues. I think the city and the province have got their hands around what needs to be done very quickly around the water, sanitation and utilities. We want to try and address the more structural issues around the midterm. The overall arching thing for the business community is how do we get confidence in doing business in the province? How do we improve the ease of doing business in the province? And the basics around the safety, security. Businesses can be insurable because they are in a floodplain, but the infrastructure is climate resilient and those type of things. So we're really trying to target yesterday's dialogue around the midterm and really rebuilding the province so that it becomes an economic powerhouse. And as we know, the Durban port, the N3 arterial to the hinterland is really, really important, and it's all got to work properly.
There's also got to be the optics behind what is actually being done as well, trying to get business and investor confidence back in as well. As you mentioned, we had COVID, we had the July unrests, and now the flooding as well. Do you still believe that Durban and KZN has got the confidence of international investors? And if they don't, do you think what the President is promising medium term, to use your wording, is enough for investors?
Yeah, Gareth, let me say, and my view is based on the chamber membership. Yesterday, I articulated in the meeting with the presidency, some of the big brands are in the province. And it was very clear coming out of our dialogue yesterday, and I think we left the presidency as well as the provincial government with a feeling that the big brands, the big businesses, the big corporates are here to stay in the province, but we need to work together with the government to drive it. So I'm confident that we can grow the economy with the big industries and the big brands that are here. But it needs collaboration. And I think that's what we achieved yesterday. I think for us as a business community, it was a Sunday morning. The President came to Durban. He brought no fewer than 7 of the ministers with him. We had the almost full provincial leadership there. We had the city leadership there. And I think everybody was serious. And for us, that's what's important.
So what's the next step? I'm not asking what the milestone in the road is. You mentioned 7 ministers and the presidency there yesterday. Who's your next meeting with to get what done?
Gareth, obviously we'll regroup this morning, but we've got quite a clear idea now that we will break the initiatives into some smaller initiatives, and we will try with the province and with the city to engage with the individual ministries and their teams to say, right, let's chart a roadmap for water and sanitation, for the road infrastructure, for the varying other challenges that we've got. Already over the last 12 months, the province and the city have been working really, really strongly with Transnet to address the port and the rail issues, and we're making progress. Of course, the floods were a setback, but we'll do that. So it's now breaking it down into bite-sized initiatives that we can get task teams to work together and really rebuild KZN.
A positive meeting, it sounds like. We'll keep a close eye, as I'm sure you will. Nigel Ward, president of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, after the meeting with the president yesterday down in Durban.